So the first thing I want to say is one person has to get a very, very, very strong look, and that's Teresa Weatherspoon. Familiar, right? She's a assistant coach on the team now. She played professional basketball in the WNBA for a couple years, 16 years overall when you count WNBA and overseas experience. She was one of the original players on the New York Liberty. Like, one thing that's very clear is she understands and she knows basketball. The second thing that is very clear to me is that all the players speak glowingly about Teresa Witherspoon. And the whole issue you just had was connection with the players, being able to motivate them, being able to get them to buy into the scheme. And that is huge, right? If it is clear based off everything you heard from the players that this is a person that they can buy into and you know they know basketball, they have to be at the top of your list.
So I don't disagree, but I think it's the wrong city for this.
Mm.
Right players, right GM, right coach, wrong city.
I don't think the city doesn't matter to me if they are winning. That is the thing. Because the city will always fall in line if you win. They will murder you if you lose. I do agree that if they did really badly with her, then it could get ugly. But I believe this is important to say she needs to be promoted within the staff. It is clear she needs a more leadership position in the staff. But the fly route for me is actually Jason Kidd. And this is the key variable. Point Zion is the future of New Orleans. That was the one thing that they got from Stan Van Gundy that needs to stay and might be worth it in terms of the overall year, is that Point Zion is the future of New Orleans. This might mean that Lonzo is a sign and trade target, or they're just going to have to let him walk, because even though Lonzo has taken massive strides in his 3-point shot, can spot up, shoot the three, his greatest asset on the court is running an offense. And if you're going to go into Point Zion, you end up having to lose Lonzo. But I keep thinking defense, defense, defense. That was this team's problem. Jason Kidd isn't a defensive guru, right? But Jason Kidd's big thing is that, one, he is super into player development. He's the one that developed Giannis. Giannis playing power forward, but playing the point, basically engaging the offense for his team. Who put him in that position?
Kid's pretty good.
Kidd. Yeah.
I like Kidd.
Yeah. And the second thing is he's a legend to these kids. He's not old, rusty, and they think he's outdated. He's a legend to the current players. Stan Van Gundy was a legend to last generations of players. Like two back. But seriously, so I think that he can create a large buy-in. He can be very popular in that locker room, and you have a lot of young talent you need to develop to the next level. And yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a problem with Kidd. He just seems really happy where he's at. I mean, he pulled his name out of the Portland job. I don't think that he wants to leave.
He pulled his name out of the Portland job because Dame actively said, I'm the person, he's the person I want. And he pulled his name out because he was like, I don't feel comfortable, and you won't feel comfortable running a search when the guy with all the power in your locker room and in your organization said, he's the guy I want.
So that makes a lot of sense. Another possibility I had heard was that Kidd may have talked to Dame and asked the question of whether or not Dame was going to stay in Portland long term, like guaranteed. Like, will he resign when his next deal comes up? And he didn't get a yes.
Oh, I did not hear that.
I heard that was a possibility. And I mean, I don't know if it's just people who want Dame to leave Portland saying that or what, but it doesn't seem too ridiculous if Kid could reach out and have that conversation, and Dame might say, I don't know what I'm going to do. And if I'm Kid, I stay away from there too. If I'm not going to Portland with no Dame.
I agree. I had not heard that. And that makes a lot of sense. But his name popped up in a lot of other coaching vacancies, and he hasn't actively withdrawn his name from anywhere else. So that would make some sense.
That's fair.